A country rich in oil but empty selves. A president called a dictator by half of the world and a protector by the other half.
Outlaw dictator Nicolas Maduro to justice.
He didn't come from money, he didn't come from power. He came from a bus driver seat straight into a collapsing nation. Some call him a tyrant, some call him a survivor, some say he destroyed Venezuela. This is the story of Nicolas Maduro.
Not war, not war, not war. Just peace, just peace, just peace. Forever, forever, forever. Peace forever.
Before we talk about Maduro, we need to talk about the country he inherited. Venezuela was supposed to be rich. It had more oil than Saudi Arabia.
Venezuela is a country on the northern coast of South America. It has vast natural resources, especially oil. Venezuela has the largest proven oil reserves in the world. The largest proven oil reserves in the world. We are talking an estimated 303 billion barrels of oil. That's more than Saudi Arabia and more than the United States. But there is a catch. Much of this oil is heavy crude. It is harder to extract and more expensive to refine, which is why Venezuela's current output is far below potential.
But on streets, it was a different story. A small elite controlled the wealth, oil money stayed at the top. And millions lived in barrios. Basically, barrios means slums. And then came 1989.
And rioting sparked by government austerity measures. In the crackdown that followed, security forces killed more than 300 people, many of them innocent bystanders. I've been speaking to one woman inadvertently caught up in the violence. It's early evening on February the 27th, 1989. Protesters and looters are out on the streets of the Venezuelan capital, Caracas. It's the first day of a wave of disturbances that have spread across the country. Ordinary Venezuelans, many of them residents of the poorest neighbourhoods that surround the capital, are venting their anger at a raft of new government economic measures.
Reports speak of a frenzy of rioting and plunder. The position in the capital Caracas and major cities is bad enough for the US and Britain to have advised their nationals not to visit the country.
Fuel prices rose overnight, public transport became unaffordable, people took the streets. What followed shocked the nation. The army was sent in and bullets were fired at civilians. Hundreds, maybe thousands were killed. That moment broke something deep. It broke trust. From that day on, many Venezuelans stopped believing that democracy worked for them. So they want someone to fight back, someone they can trust, someone who could push the elites and return the dignity to poor. Venezuela wasn't searching for a president, it was searching for a savior. When people stop believing in systems, they start believing in men. In Venezuela, that man was Hugo Chávez. Chávez didn't sound polished, he didn't sound elite, he was an army officer. He sounded angry and that mattered.
Hugo Chávez burst into Venezuelan politics in dramatic fashion. In February of 1992, then Lieutenant Colonel Chávez led a failed coup attempt against Venezuelan President Carlos Andrés Pérez. Chávez, the son of school teacher, surrendered and assumed responsibility for the coup.
Comrades, unfortunately for now, our objectives in the capital were not reached. We in Caracas were unable to take power.
After being released from prison 2 years later, Chávez formed the Fifth Republic Movement, a political opposition group. He ran for president in 1998, campaigning as the candidate of the people and promising to fight for Venezuela's poor. And at the age of 44, Chávez was elected as the youngest president in Venezuelan history.
He spoke directly to poor, he attacked the rich, he blamed corruption and political class. And then he made a promise that changed everything. Venezuela's oil belongs to its people. Suddenly the state felt present. Free education was expanded, free healthcare was expanded, education became accessible, food was subsidized, homes were built. For millions, life finally felt fair. Chávez wasn't just governing, he was representing the poor. But beneath that hope, a dangerous shift was happening. The economy became tied to oil alone.
announced that Venezuela would pull out of both the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund, and his government took control of the last remaining privately run oil fields. Ostracized by the West, Chavez cultivated a resistance front, getting closer to leaders like Mahmoud Ahmadinejad of Iran and buying advanced weaponry from Russia.
Power no longer lived in loss, it lived in Chavez himself. As long as the oil prices stayed high, the system appeared successful. But as you know, the market has ups and downs. It was suspended, and the system like that don't survive absence. So when Chavez promised that his revolution would never die, almost no one asked the question that truly mattered. What happens when the voice disappears? Let's understand that in the next chapter. Before power, Nicolas Maduro was not a mysterious figure in the shadows. He was one of the people. He started life far from palaces. He worked as a bus driver in Caracas. From the streets, he moved into union leadership, where he learned how politics really works. When Hugo Chávez rose to power, he joined it.
A former bus driver and union organizer, Mr. Maduro rose through the ranks, having served as foreign minister and vice president.
So when Chávez's health failed, the question inside the movement was who can be trusted not to betray the revolution.
The people of Venezuela are no longer under the strong control of their president, Hugo Chávez. America vitally affected by what happens after Chávez's death, and ABC's Matt Gutman reports.
Part funeral, part carnival, and all jam-packed. Today, miles of mourners said goodbye. We cut through those thick crowds, finding tears streaming down Maria Josefina's face. Chavez, she told me, provided her with everything, her home, a pension to live on. And as his body floated by,
the pressure is absolutely intense. Everybody wants to get close to the body of a man they so revere.
And they chanted. And look closely, protected by those paratroopers, the man in the yellow tracksuit. He's Nicolás Maduro, Chávez's hand-picked successor.
Y ahora, ¿qué piensas usted en la futura?
They tell me they trust Maduro as much as they did Chávez.
From bus driver to vice president and finally to the presidency. But Maduro did not inherit a strong nation. He inherited a fragile revolution, built on personalities, not institutions. And that would shape everything he did next. When Nicolas Maduro took over, the system was already cracking. The Chavez model had worked on one condition: high oil prices. The condition was gone. What followed wasn't a sudden collapse, it was a slow suffocation. People protested, millions took to the streets, others left the country entirely. Maduro became authoritarian. Power moved closely to military. Opposition turned into a security threat. Where Chavez ruled through charisma, Maduro ruled through endurance. Sanctions followed, isolation steepened, the economy shrunk further. To the outside world, Maduro became the face of Venezuela's failure. Inside the system, he became the only thing holding it together.
What could be the immediate impact on the wider region?
So the immediate impact is not so strong because, of course, President Maduro is an icon for the left-wing governments, but also for the left-wing parties worldwide. But on the other side, the principle of realism will prevail, that no one will go against the United States. And since, as you have mentioned, he is also lacking some legitimacy within the country itself, they will not create many problems for the US so far if everything stays at the same level.
Nicolas Maduro is not the beginning of Venezuela's collapse. He is what happens when a nation replaces institutions with loyalty and then discovers there is no clean way out. Thank you for staying till the end. You can watch my other documentaries. I've pinned it here. And most importantly, subscribe. Thank you.